Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Looplearnings, and this is video number 15. And in this video we will continue from exactly the same place where we left in the video number 14. I was working on PO form, and now we are entering into a very complex state of VBA coding, at least for me, because I'm not a professional coder, but I just try to learn and try to demonstrate. Anyway, even if you have not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and so you get notification whenever I upload a new video. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do VBA coding behind these three buttons, and trust me, it takes lots of time, particularly to code behind received button. So please bear with me. This video might be 50 minutes or closer to 50 minutes, or maybe longer than 50 minutes long. So I don't know how many of you will watch it fully, but if you don't watch, it's up to you. But if you want to learn, then I would strongly recommend that you watch till the end. That would be awesome. Okay, let's jump right into it. Before I tell you about what I'm going to do today, there is one addition in this form, and that is supplier reference field. Okay, this was not there earlier, so I thought about it and then I added. So I'll give you the explanation why this field is also very important. Okay, now let's move on and talk about the in transit button. Now for in transit, we are talking about the sequence. So the PO was created, then it was approved or rejected. Okay, then the order was placed if the PO was approved. After placing the order, you send the order to the supplier. Supplier send you back the notification stating that your order has been shipped and it will be arriving in so and so days. All right, even if you do today, you do online shopping, for example, shopping, I mean Amazon or any other platform, they also send you the message that that the order has been shipped and will be received. Sorry, suddenly you might have felt that I'm not speaking fluently because there is a message coming up at the same time, important message, so I was looking at those messages, so I apologize for that. Anyway, so in transit meaning that we have to update. So the moment supplier notifies that hey, the order has been shipped, at that time we go to the record of the purchase order and then we change the status to purchase order from stock on order, which means the logic will be stock on order. If the PO status is not stock on order, then this action cannot be performed, right? If it is approved, rejected, received, back order, then this action will not be performed. This action will only be performed if the status of the PO is stock on order. That's it. Okay, you with me? Following me? All right, let's jump right into a VBA editor. So in transit, event tab, on click event, ... code builder. First thing I do, I copy and paste the error handling code block. Very important. On error, resume next. All right, let's type some code here. If is null, me dot PO line ID dot value is equal to true, then do cmd dot beep message box. This action cannot be performed as the PO record has not been selected. Okay, simple as that. All right, else if me.status.value is not SOO. SOO means stock on order. If you don't know, in previous video I explained what does SOO mean and what are the logics behind it. Then to cmd.beep message box, simply this action cannot be performed. Okay, VP critical information. There you go. Then let's copy this so I can save some time. If the status is already stock in transit, now SIT is the abbreviation of stock in transit, so then this action cannot be performed as the PO status is already stock in transit. Okay, if all of these are false, then else me.status dot value is equal to SIT stock in transit. Me.status state dot value is equal to now. Okay, we are not done yet. If you remember, we had this beautiful table user activity that needs to be updated every single time a button is clicked or any action is performed by the user. So we have to update the user activity table, and we do that using what? Are you with me, guys? Using record sets. You guessed it right. So first we create a variable tim activity as a record set. Okay, then we come here, we set the record set, which is activity is equal to current tb dot open record set. Okay, and we type in the user activity table name. Then we say add activity dot add new. Now I'm not explaining as I usually explain about things, and I'm not explaining about record set, and the reason for that is that I have explained this like multiple times in this series alone. So if you want to learn more about record set, so I would strongly recommend you to please go to the previous video or video number 11, 12, 10. I think one of these videos I've explained record set in extreme detail. Okay, so that's why I will speed up in while typing my code. I hope that you will be following with me. Okay, now the first field we need to add is location ID. So we'll say activity exclamation mark location activity exclamation mark location ID is equal to me dot location ID. Okay, so basically what we're doing, we are copying this location ID information and we are pasting it here. Action type, well, activity exclamation mark action type. What action has happened? Well, in this case we are making this, we are changing the status to stock in transit. So PO status change, that's the activity type, right? Next, reference document number activity exclamation mark ref doc is equal to me dot name. Next is activity exclamation mark ref doc num is equal to me dot PO line ID. I've done this so many times now I even memorize it. Okay, next activity description is equal to what? User has changed PO status to what? SIT stock in transit. Okay, next actioned on activity exclamation mark actioned on is equal to now. Next activity exclamation mark actioned by is equal to forms exclamation mark main form exclamation mark LBL name dot caption. All right, then activity dot update. All right, so we're done adding the record in this table. After that, we will save the record to cmd.save to cmd.beep, and then throw a message box for confirmation for the user saying the PO status has been changed to SIT, stock in transit. All right, cool. VP information and if. That's it. Sweet and straight. Okay, so we're done with the transit button. Now let's move on to the grand finale of this form, that is receive button. Now, why I said grand finale? Because most of the coding that needs to be done behind receive button is still pending, is we have to do. So what are we going to do? Well, first of all, usually we will check different conditions. For example, what is the status of the PO, and this action will only be performed if the status was SIT, which is stock in transit. That's the only status that will be looked at, and if it is stock in transit, then this button will be activated. If it is other than anything else, then the error message will appear confirming that this action cannot be performed. So after checking all these conditions, we will check whether this field is empty. If this field is empty, that also we will check. After doing that, then we will have different three situations. Now, receive quantity can be less than what was ordered, receive quantity can be greater than what was ordered, receive quantity can be equal than what was ordered. So in these three scenarios, in these three situations, the status will be changed accordingly. And after that, after changing the status, we need to update two tables in this case. First is user activity, as usual, as you know. The second table that we need to update is the accounts payable table. Okay, now accounts payable table basically records the information about the accounting. Now, before I proceed and talk about accounting, let me tell you, I'm not a professional accountant. I don't know much about accountancy or accounting or finance, but I do know the basics, that's for sure. So I do know accounts payable, I do know accounts receivable. So if you're someone who is very familiar with accounting, you might be looking at this table and you might be thinking, what is this? What he has created? Well, excuse me, sir or madam, I'm not an accountant. So if you think that this is definitely not the way how accounting works, then you are right. This is only the basics of accounting. So I don't have a separate accounting module. I don't have like 10 tables that are working together for the accounting. So that's for sure. It's only the basics of accounting. The idea of my videos is to give you the idea. You then take those ideas and expand further. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's finish the chit chat and let's get into the action. So this table, user activity table, both needs to be updated when receive button is clicked. Okay, you got it? Let's get into the VB editor. So code builder, here we are. First thing first, I will copy the error handling code. On error, resume next. Okay, now of course the first thing I'm going to check is for sure this, so I'm going to copy this. Okay, All right. Next thing, else if me dot status dot value is not stock in transit, then to cmd dot beep message box, this action cannot be performed, may be critical information. All right, next, else if me dot status, no, not status, receive quantity, else if is null, me dot receive quantity dot value is equal to true, then to cmd dot beep message box, please provide the QTY received. It will be critical and it will be information. Me dot recqty dot set focus. We'll copy this, then I will check if this field is empty. So supplier reference. Now supplier reference field, let me explain you about this as well. When supplier will dispatch and send the stock, they will also send some sort of documentation, whether it will be shipping notification or invoice. That reference number needs to be added here. Okay, so that's why we need to check if this is empty or not. Okay, please provide the document number sent, document number against which the stock is received. Okay, simple. All right, so after checking this, else, we're not done yet for sure. Now next is situations. So 3 situations. First one is if the stock is less, if the stock is more than what was ordered, and if the stock is same as what was ordered. So 3 situations. First, let's tackle the first one. If me dot receive quantity dot value is less than me dot order quantity dot value, then what? Then of course the status will be partial grn. Okay, me dot status date dot value will be now. Okay, after this, of course, as you know, that we have to update first the user activity table, and now I have already done the coding for user activity. First let me declare the variable, then I will copy the rest of the code. Dim activity as record set, and in here let's set activity is equal to current db dot open record set, and in here we will give the table name. Okay, now I'm going to copy the code, this code, and we have to add record in the user activity table. So that will be comment. Let's remove this me dot location ID. In this case, the goods received, that's the action, user has received goods in bracket partial. Okay, rest will be same. Now the next step is, which I have not demonstrated earlier, so I'm going to tell you in detail. So I'm going to repeat this, I'm going to explain this, then please listen carefully, because then there are two more situations for which I have to do the same coding. So I'm not going to type that code again, I'm going to copy and paste it. That's it. So this time I'm going to explain it in detail, so please focus if you are still watching. And to add record in accounts payable table, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the name of this table in order to avoid any potential spelling mistakes. And to do that, we will have to declare the variable tim AP accounts payable as a record set. Okay, and then here also we need to set AP is equal to current DB dot open record set and user activity. Okay, then here we will add AP dot add new, so new record. First, what is the field name? Created on. That would be simple. Now, okay, location ID, AP exclamation mark location ID is equal to me dot location ID. Cost center, AP exclamation mark cost center, and we will fetch this information from the main table. So where is the cost center? Okay, let me create a new, so LBLCC. What? Where did it go? Where did it go? It's cost center. Okay. All right. So that's the field reference number we will give here. Forms exclamation mark main exclamation mark LBLCC dot caption. Okay, it seems that it is not yet. All right, next what field? Beneficiary type. Now we know that we are paying to the supplier, so the beneficiary type would be supplier. Next is beneficiary ID. So AP beneficiary ID is equal to, now this will be interesting. So how do we get beneficiary ID? Well, we are paying to supplier, this is the supplier field, and if we will look at our data, the first column in this combo box is the supplier field. I'll show you if you want. Here we go. Okay, supplier ID, that's the information we need to pass here. So we'll say me dot supplier ID dot column 0 column. So this is where the column number 0, this is where the supplier ID is residing. Next we will get the payable type. Is it cash, is it credit, what is it? So that information we will provide, and that information will also be stored for each supplier in this combo box. And if I will go back to this query again, we can see that payment method, there is a column payment method, this is where it is stored. You can see it is credit, right? So what is the column number? 0 1 2 3. So column number 3 would be the information that we are going to provide. All right, here we go. Next what we have? Document type. AP exclamation mark document type is equal to me dot name. So form that we are using, we will give that reference. document number, that also is. So document number is equal to me.po line ID. That's the number. Reference number, interesting. What is reference number? Well, reference number, if you remember, this is the reference number, supplier invoice or document reference number against which the stock has been received. So that information needs to be captured, and it is very important from the accounting purpose. So we will me.supplier reference. Okay, next, what do we have? Total payable. Okay, this will also be interesting. Total payable, how much money we'll have to pay. Well, now in this case, what are we going to look at is that how much stock we have received, right? That's the focus we have. So whatever stock we have received multiplied by unit price, that will give us how much money has to be paid to the supplier, because we are going to only pay for what we have received. Am I right? Am I right? Correct. Me dot unit price into me dot receive quantity. Okay, there you go. That will give us how much money needs to be paid. Due date, that is going to be interesting as well. AP exclamation mark due date is equal to, now what is due date? Well, for example, today we have received the stock. So from today, 10 days, 20 days, whatever the payment term, that is also residing. So payment term is also residing in this particular combo box. So if I'll go to combo box dot dot dot, and if I'll go and run the query, you can see payment term is 10 days. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So column number 4 has the payment terms information. Now it is very important that we calculate automatically what is the due date. So accounting department knows that when a payment is due for a particular supplier. So that's the basic accounting. If I'm accounting, I would like to know, so we can pay them on time and we can have a great business relationship with them. So I want automatically the due date to be calculated from the date of receiving the stock. So that's what we are doing. So now we'll represent the date of and time of receiving the stock plus me dot supplier ID dot column. What was the column number? Column number 4, in which the payment terms information is residing. It's very important. Paid amount, balance, paid on, updated by, this will be updated. This information will be updated later in different activity, not in this activity. Status and status date will be updated. So AP exclamation mark status is equal to, what is the status? New AP, new accounts payable record, right? Then AP exclamation mark status date is equal to now. Okay, then AP dot update. Whew. So this much VBA coding just for one scenario, and that scenario is if the received quantity is less than the order quantity. So we have to do all of that coding. All right, now let's move on to the second situation. Else if me dot receive quantity dot value is greater than me dot order quantity dot value. Okay, then me dot status dot value is equal to excess GRN. That means we have received excess stock. Me dot status date dot value is equal to now. All right, one more thing I forgot. We have to give a message box to the user for the confirmation. Do cmd.save, do cmd.beep, message box. The PO status has been changed to partial GRN. Okay, comma, VB information and information. All right, next. Now we have to repeat the same thing after changing the status in this second situation, that if the value if the quantity received is greater than quantity ordered, then the updates needs to be made in these two tables. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy and paste. This is why I was saying please pay attention to what I'm doing. So I'm going to copy this code, entire code till here, and I'm going to paste it. What I need to do is a little bit of change. So still we are receiving the goods even in case of excess CRN. Here we will change to excess. User has received goods but in excess quantity. That goes to the description here. Okay, description here. Then rest remains same. Here add new, now location ID, that remains same. Okay. I think this remains same as well. So nothing will be changed here. Third condition is else if me dot receive quantity dot value is equal to me dot order quantity dot value, then me dot status dot value is equal to grn. Okay, grn me dot status date, me dot status date dot value is equal to now, and after that the same code to update the two tables. Okay, so here with this we are updating the user activity table. With this code we are updating the accounts payable table. A little bit of change, still we are doing goods receipt. So here we will, user has received goods, that will be changed. So do we need to change anything here? I don't think so. After that, end if. Okay, here message box perhaps we will need to change. So here we're receiving fully, so that means okay, cool. So this much code is just behind one button. Let's debug it, save it. In this case, access grn, partial grn. So 3 conditions. Wow, that's a lot of code for one button. Debug, that's good. Okay, next, what do we have? Next is the last button, and that is backorder button. Let's get it done, this one as well, code builder. And you know, first thing first, I take the error handling code on error, resume next. All right, now again I'm going to copy some of the information from here. Okay, if, all right, so my neighbors are moving their furniture and I'm hearing the sound here. All right, so this condition is back order can only be, this action can only be performed if the order is on, if the stock is on order, if the stock is in transit, if the stock is received, if the PO is approved, then this should not be performed. So in here we will just say SOO. If the status is not stock in order, then this action will not be performed. But if the status is already back order, BO means back order, then this action cannot be performed, as the order has already been, as the PO, as the status for this PO is already marked as back order. Else me dot status dot value is equal to now. Sorry. Alright, that's what happens when you do a lot of coding. State dot value is equal to now, and we have to update our user activity table as well. So I'm going to copy and paste, but to do that, dim activity as a record set, and in here set activity is equal to current db dot open record set, and we will get the table name here. Okay, rest I'm going to copy. Alright, so let's copy this line of code. So here PO marked back order. Okay, everything is same. User has changed PO status to back order. Everything remains same. The PO status has been changed to the back order. And if there you go. So that's the back order code. Save it, close it. Now moment of truth. So first thing first I need to do is, for example, if I click here, at the moment nothing happens. Well, there is another step, there is another form that should open when I click here, but to have the PO form open temporarily, I'm going to do the coding behind this button so the PO form can open from here. Also, let me fix one more thing. There we go. Okay. So third button, dot dot dot, here we go. Else if me dot ptn3 dot caption is equal to purchase orders, then to cmd dot open form, which form? PO. That's it. So that's it. Temporarily I have done it just to test. So let's do the testing now. Alright, so let's test it out, whatever we have done. So hopefully everything will work well. So we'll click on purchase orders and let's choose the standard purchase, electronics, Samsung. We only have one variant, so it's good that it's fetching the information and replicating here. We'll select the supplier. Let's say 10 pieces we are ordering, and we will go ahead and create PO. So if everything is fine in our coding, it should work, and it does. So PO is created. Now we will click on approve or reject. So let's approve it. All right, good, it is being approved. Next is order is placed. So next step. All right, order is also being placed. So status changed to SOO. After the order is placed, shipment, when the shipment will dispatch, the supplier will inform you. You change the status to in transit. Now status is changed to in transit. Once the status is changed to in transit, that means the stock will be received. If our coding works well, this is the big exam now. So my fingers are crossed if the code that we have done will work well or not. So if our code is correct, it should ask me receive quantity and supplier reference number, document number first. And rest assured it does. So let's say we are receiving 7 pieces, right? and then the supplier documents reference number we will give just a dummy number. And if our code is correct, three things should happen. First, the status should be changed to partial GRN, because if you notice, we are receiving only 7 quantity instead of 10. Second, the user activity table should be updated. Third, the accounts payable table should be updated. So hopefully it will all be done. So let's click on it. So received, and boom. So we didn't get any error. That means everything works well. So partial GRN, and hopefully the 2 tables. Let's see the 2 tables whether the information is updated. So user activity first, and rest assured we have the user activity. So PO is created, then PO is approved, then purchase, user has placed the purchase order. Okay, PO status changed to what? Stock in transit, then goods received partially. You can see the timestamp as well with each and every action, and this is what is very important, and who has done this change, so that also information is available. So it works well. That's good. Now let's see the accounts payable table, and boom, we have the accounts payable table updated as well. So date, location is updated, cost center is updated, supplier, beneficiary ID, payable type is the credit, document PO, this is the reference number, this much amount needs to be paid, and it should be paid on 9th of February. So you can calculate, it is actually calculated the date from today and plus 10 days according to the supplier's payment terms condition, and therefore it has given us the date on which the payment is due. So it will be useful for the accounting people to filter the information and give the money to the supplier accordingly. So everything works well. Fantastic. I'm very happy to, of course you get very happy when things works. So I hope that you have learned something in this video. Even if you have not, please do let me know in the comments below. Thank you for supporting. Keep supporting this channel. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet subscribed. Hit the bell icon so you get notification. And if you like whatever you've seen, please give a thumbs up to this video. That would be appreciated. Thank you very much again, and thank you for watching. Take